Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing Soundwave doing yoga. Because if you fold in his hands, or fold in the swords, it's literally Soundwave doing hover yoga. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing this thing, this beast of a pack. Now if you're like me and you missed out on the first original releases of these figures, then you were really waiting for this pack, especially Megatron. And especially considering Megatron's aftermarket prices. But let's open it up. It's so big it doesn't fit in screen. There we go. Alright. Whoa. Okay, starting out. I don't care about him. I really do not care about him. Like, he's okay. This guy is awesome. This guy's awesome. And this guy's the star of the show. So yes, I 100% got this new pack for Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. And he is totally worth it. Now there is a standout here that I didn't really care to get, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised that he's in here. And that would be the Fallen, because I didn't know I needed another Fallen. For me, the 13th Prime Megatron is from Age of the Primes, that was fine. But this guy, he's awesome. I'm gonna knock him over now. This guy's awesome. Plus he does this whole thing.
Your face.
Now before I talk about the Fallen too much, because I'll talk more about him later, let's talk about Megatron, because he's the star of this pack for me. He is so good. Plus this version now has silver paint, which the previous one did not have, and it looked really bland because of that. Also, not sure if this is a new head sculpt or not. I don't know. This battle damage head sculpt looks familiar, but it looks awesome anyways. Let me know in the comments if this is a new head sculpt or not. But paintwork on this is amazing. It came out so good. We'll talk about it more later, more depth. But yeah, this guy is awesome. This fixed all the issues I had with the original. Well, I didn't like the original. So I guess we could talk about Soundwave now. Yeah, so Soundwave's not my favorite. He's okay, but he is just Soundwave doing yoga. Yeah, like I said in the intro, this is based. I can't talk today. This is basically Soundwave as a contortionist, because transformation is this. I could show you really quick because it's super fast, I think. Spin around. There, that's it. And that's him. Yeah. He's basically just turned himself into a pretzel. That's all this guy does. I wouldn't have bought him on his own. He's great. Yeah. He's a good representation of Baber Soundwave. Get Dark Moon Soundwave. No, I definitely wouldn't say this is a bad figure by any stretch. He is fun to play with and, convert back and forth, I guess. But, he's just there. He wasn't really in the movie that much, Revenge of the Fallen. He spent most of the film in satellite mode, I think. So, of course, the first thing everyone wants to know with these reissues, whenever we get a reissued pack of figures, everyone wants to know, is there any mold degradation on these new figures? There is not. There is nothing loose on these toys. Okay, that's a little untrue. The hips on the Fallen and Megatron are a little bit loose, but I can tighten them because they're on screws. So, that's a really big help. Back when Transformers used to have screws, that was common. I miss those days. But yeah, in terms of loose joints for mold degradation, I really don't have any on mine. Everything feels pretty solid and tight. The little jiggling you hear is from the wheels, because he has rolling wheels in the tank mode. Now in most cases when we get a reissue pack from Hasbro, usually the figures end up suffering a bit in the paint department. For instance, the Arrival to Earth pack with the Optimus and the other Autobots from 07. That pack did take some paint away from those figures, and the plastic didn't look as good on those as the original releases did. This is not the case in this pack. For instance, Megatron has got a ton more paint than his original release. I'm going to showcase this real quick. Now he's got some nice silver and kind of like a gray dry brush over all his plastic. It looks really good. The only thing I maybe complain about a little bit would be, it would have been nice to get like a metallic blue for the thrusters in his back, because blue flames come out of those in the film. So that would have been kind of neat to see, but I really can't complain. This looks so good. That makes this figure pop way better than the original release. So yeah, it's actually a plus to buy this pack. Now, of course, that's not to say that this pack is completely and utterly without fault. It's a toy. Of course, it has some kind of an issue. But for me, these aren't big issues that this has. I'll go over the Fallen first. Now, this is just a me thing, I'm guessing, because my particular copy has this issue, but I don't know if everyone's does. See, mine's head's kind of loose. It is on a pin in the neck. There's a ball joint and a pin, and the pin is just super loose. There's no tightening there. Now, the other irritating thing for me would be these back pieces, kind of weird phalange bits. They're kind of cool in theory because they articulate with his arm movement, which is kind of neat. But if you move his arm forward, they do just pop up. They pop out. They pop back in really easily because they're supposed to just come in and out so you can get easier range out of his arms. But if you do move his arm forward, they just pop off. But if you're not getting him into any, like, severe poses, then you can pull off poses with those attached. But it's not really a big deal because even if they do on tab, he looks fine from the front anyways without them on. So I really don't care there. See, this is the only other thing. Would be my particular copy came with a kind of a loose hip on this side, but I noticed if I just tighten up those screws in the butt cheeks there, this gets increasingly tighter. So all I have to do is, when I'm not lazy, just tighten those up and this will be fine. But yeah, that's kind of my only issue with this guy. Now, ironically, this guy being my least favorite figure out of the pack seems to be the only one without any issues whatsoever. He's fairly tight. Nothing seems to pop off of him or be loose. He's actually the only one who doesn't have a single issue. The only thing I'd be cautious of would be popping out, folding in the hands for transformation. They're clear plastic, so I don't think they're going to break because they're pretty thick material, but just something to be cautious over. But yeah, this guy's the only one who doesn't have a single issue with him. Now, moving on to Megatron. He is my favorite figure out of the pack, but he doesn't go without issues. Now, it's not a huge deal or anything, but these do pop off if you move his legs funny. They're on friction pegs, so they do have a tendency to just want to come off. If you move it the wrong way, up too far, they will just kind of pop out. It's not a huge deal. And the only other thing would be, due to most of his weight being in the legs, the hips do tend to get a little loose. They're definitely looser on the right side than they're on the left. But I do, again, same thing with the Fallen, same deal. Screws in the butt, when I hold those, this does get significantly tighter feeling. So if I tighten those up, this will be fine. So that's literally my only other issue. Now, while we're here, why not talk about Megatron's articulation? Let's see what he can do. Okay, now starting off with articulation, first up we have ball joint. Goes all the way around. He looks up a pretty great range, so you can get those crazy running poses out of him. He looks down. He's got full 360 at the shoulders, in and out, bicep, little over 90 degrees at the elbow. I don't know if you can call these fingers, he's got finger articulation. So he's got metal bits hanging off his wrists that move around. Just cool looking. He's got his retractable blade, which is super fun to kind of like pull in and out. Nothing at the waist because due to transformation, there's a lot going on there, a lot of panel folding, so understandable. The hips don't have a great range, especially not out, but not bad. He's got some walking out of him. his back fin came off. The knees are designed weird because it's those weird chicken legs, but that's kind of the design of the movie, not as much the figure. But still pretty good range out of those two. And he does have an ankle rocker. Got some tilt going on there, which is really helpful for posing. It's not a lot, but it's enough. And the toes wiggle around a bit, but it doesn't really lock into place, but that's fine. So you get some pretty good range out of him. He is an early Studio Series figure. I think he's wave 2 or 3 of Studio Series, so he's a pretty early figure. That's a pretty good range of movement for an early Studio Series figure. Now let's move on to Soundwave. Now for Soundwave, we got a really good range at the head. He looks almost all the way up. Yeah, he does look all the way up. Doesn't look down too much, but really good range at the head. Oh, and I think you got, yeah, pretty good tilt too. Next we have 360 shoulders, in and out the arms. But I think you get more if you move these out of the way. You get even more. You get bicep, about 90 at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist. Now, this is kind of waist rotation, but it more so wiggles. It kind of wiggles. It gets stuck on the transformation hinges back here, so it doesn't really move. Pretty good range out of the hips. They're on ball joints, so they do whatever you need them to do. We have a thigh cut there too, on the mushroom peg. We have regular knee bend, about 90 at the knees. And you can kind of get a ankle tilt out of this too, due to transformation. It can look a little strange from some angles, but if you do it right, you can get him in a little bit of a T-pose. Now, saving the best for last, we have the Fallen. We got head is the same, it's kind of loose and floppy, but if you take off the mask off, you get more range out of the head with that. And plus, his mouth screams in pain. His mouth opens. We get 360 at the shoulders. You got all the way out, use the transformation joint. Bicep, double jointed elbows, get wrist rotation, and you got a break in the hand. Nothing at the waist due to transformation. Hips go all the way around pretty much, forward and back, in and out. You get pretty good range at the knees, even though they're weird chicken legs. Rotation at the foot, ankle rocker, and then the toes bend in. But now let's put them all through the posing compilation.
Brought the body of crime.
The boy must have the Matrix. We cannot let him reach Optimus. Decepticons, begin our assault!
So as you can see, all three of them pose very well and can pull off some pretty nice shots and stances, especially the Fallen and Megatron. And Soundwave can do some neat stuff too, but obviously not as good as the Voyager and the Leader. So a quick side note here, this is not a new head sculpt. This head sculpt is from Studio Series 31, the battle damage version of this guy. He looked exactly the same as this one, I think. From the end of the film when he's got the messed up face and everything. As this one's from. So I'm glad they included the battle damage version instead of the original Voyager with the plain gray plastic. Okay, now with that out of the way, I'm gonna focus on transformation now. I'm not gonna do him because this video is already running too long anyways, and he's really simple, so I'm gonna focus on the Fallen first. Then we'll do Megatron. Now, for the sake of everyone's time, I'm going to be speeding up his transformation. And here we have Lobster Mode, Crab Mode, Cybertronian Jet, Thing. So transformation's a bit fiddly, especially with those weird back fins come into play. They want to pop off every time. I would personally recommend removing these if you're going to transform them back and forth. That makes it a lot easier. Now, I do believe the original figure had landing gear, which would have been kind of nice to see on the Studio Series toy, but whatever. No, the clear plastic orange cockpit, that looks pretty cool. I like that, it's a nice touch. Now let's move on to Megatron. Now, I'm still getting used to transformation, because it is a new toy and I never handled this figure before, but it is very fun to do. I am enjoying it a lot. I think transformation strikes a good balance between complexity and enjoyability. So I think it is fun to convert back and forth, which is a lot more than I can say for some figures. The Fallen's not as fun to transform, he's just not. The weathering effect that was applied in this just looks so good. It looks like he was just driving around the forest and beating up Optimus for half an hour. This is just enjoyable. I think the bronze paint really makes it pop a lot more. The tip of the gun's been also decked out in the bronze paint. It looks burnt. It's pretty cool. This is awesome. Also, the guns in the back here move around too, however you want them. Also, very nice. He's armed to the teeth. This tank Megatron just looks like an absolute unit, and he's so much fun to play with. He also has rolling wheels too. Now here we have all three of them in alt mode. And yeah, Megatron is still my favorite. Like, I am thoroughly enjoying this pack a lot. I'm so glad these all got reissued. Even though they're older figures, they still hold up, even for now. Word of caution though, the Fallen will claim your shelf.
Now I claim your son.
Now, Megatron is, of course, the standout of this pack. He looks so great commanding the Decepticons. Now, as we come to the close of this video, I just want to say what a great multi-pack this was. Really well-deserved reissues. These Studio Series figures were so amazing, especially the Megatron. What an amazing figure he was. And I think unless you have the original releases of these figures, I would 100% recommend getting this pack. But those are my final thoughts on the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Decepticon 3-pack. But now, thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. Until next time.